when the teaser and official trailers were released last year in the lead up to Episode 8, giving us our first look at the books that would turn out to be the ancient texts of the Jedi from generations earlier, I thought that the Journal of the Whills might be among them, the work referenced in both the Force Awakens novelization and Aftermath Empire's End. Although we don't have any definitive proof yet that the Journal of the Whills is among the works that was first possessed by Luke on Ahch-To and now Rey after Episode 8, we have been seeing information regarding the ancient Jedi texts emerge over the past few months. And with the release of the Poe Dameron comic issue number 28 yesterday, we've now actually seen Rey not just begin to study the texts after the Battle of Crait, but uncover a passage within one of the books. In this video expose, I will explain what we know about the ancient Jedi texts now in possession of Rey after The Last Jedi, and describe the passage that she uncovered upon the Millennium Falcon in the aftermath of Episode 8. Before jumping into the passage learned by Rey in the most recent issue of the Poe comic, it's necessary to understand exactly what we know about these ancient Jedi texts following The Last Jedi. As described in the Last Jedi Visual Dictionary, the ancient works were located and assembled by Luke during his search for Jedi lore following Return of the Jedi. According to the Visual Dictionary, these works were a true primitive rarity, as they contain lost Jedi wisdom and abilities. From the Last Jedi novelization, we learn that the caretakers recognized that Luke arrived upon the planet with artifacts their songs recalled having been removed from Ahch-To long ago. Given Luke's reference to Rey in the novel that the library on Temple Island was built specifically to keep the works that she found within it, I believe that the artifacts referred to by the caretakers are indeed the ancient Jedi texts themselves. Further, as also described by Luke in the Last Jedi novelization, these were the original Jedi texts that served as the foundation of the ancient Jedi faith and religion, not written by Jedi themselves necessarily, but by mystic organizations such as the Aonomic and the Ramagon. This reference by Luke is very reminiscent of the situation upon Jedha as seen in Rogue One. Therefore, I believe we can conclude the following about these ancient books. They are the foundation of the Jedi religion and used by the ancient and first members of the Order. While we could say that they originated on Ahch-To itself, we can say at the very least that they had a long connection to Temple Island and the first Jedi Temple. And finally, despite their connection to Ahch-To, the ancient texts were removed from the planet, but found and assembled by Luke and brought back to their original library on Temple Island. But what is actually within these ancient Jedi texts? We get a very quick glimpse of the potential teachings inside the books in the Episode 8 novelization, in a great scene that ultimately didn't make it into the film. During a lesson between Luke and Rey saw a number of ships approaching Temple Island as she stood upon the Jedi Temple's meditation ledge. Luke told Rey that the ships belonged to a tribe from a neighboring island, and like they did every month, had come to raid and plunder the caretakers' village. As Rey began to rush down to protect the caretakers, Luke tried to stop her, telling her that a true Jedi would do nothing, as if she intervened, the raiders would just come back in greater numbers the following month, thereby increasing the cycle of violence. In specifically referencing the ancient Jedi texts on Ahch-To, Luke told Rey that the book said that a Jedi must ignore their urge to act in anger, and should only act when the balance can be maintained, even if that meant people getting hurt. Although the ships ultimately turned out to be guests arriving for a festival put on by the caretakers, and weren't in fact a threat to anyone, the scene is interesting in that we see that Luke does seem to indicate that the ancient books provide lessons on a Jedi's role within the galaxy, and most important, the need to maintain balance when acting. But of course, this was only an indirect reference to the lessons found within the books. It wasn't until yesterday's Poe comic, issue number 28, where we've actually seen a direct line from the ancient Jedi texts. Within the Falcon in the aftermath of the Battle of Crait, we see that Rey wastes no time in jumping into the books and trying to learn their lessons. Because the books were so old, the languages that they were written in were difficult to decipher, even for C-3PO, who Rey recruited to assist her in translating them. However, 3PO was able to translate a specific passage from the text, which the droid translated as, "The Force is light, the Force is dark. Jedi choose the light for all it reveals." Well, this line is only scratching the surface on what these ancient Jedi texts contain, and I believe that their true lesson could form the basis for its own standalone work, or even play an important role in Episode 9. It's interesting that we yet again see this idea that the Force is a totality of both the light and the dark. Whether it's the Force Priestesses, the Journal of the Wills, the ancient works of the Disciples of the Wills, or even our good friend the Bendu, there's a recurring theme that while a Jedi walks the path of the light, the fact that the Force exists as a duality and is comprised of the dark side must never be ignored or forgotten. Although I'll have to outline my ideas for where Rey will take the Jedi and what it means to act with balance in its own video at a later date, as Rey states in the comic, the first direct line that we've received from the ancient Jedi texts is a lovely place to begin. I hope that we can learn more about these passages within the 3 remaining issues of the Poe comic. So there we have it, what we know about the ancient Jedi texts located by Luke, and the first direct line from one of its passages that was uncovered by Rey once they were within her possession. We love making these videos, so why not subscribe for more fun Star Wars theories and discussions? Also, if you enjoyed the video, think about giving a like or leaving a comment. Or perhaps follow us on Twitter at SW Reading Club for updates regarding the channel. Or support the channel through Patreon for access to exclusive hangouts and book discussions. If not for me, for lovely places to begin.